Well, good morning. Good morning. Better. Thank you. Come on over. We're a friendly group here. You can come in and sit down. We have plenty of seating up front, like in the classrooms. Believe it or not, I was one of those students that used to sit up front because I was very prompt and ready to go first thing every class. Unfortunately, I guess my teachers disagree with that, and I got kicked out of class pretty frequently. I don't know why. I think it was some sort of discrimination or something. Welcome to the 2015-2016 Convocation. We are excited to have you here. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you about who I am and what are the things that I'm passionate about, just to get to know you a little better and give you the opportunity to get to know me a little better on this very cozy, informal setting. So with me this morning, I have Dr. JoAnna Schilling, and she's our Vice President of Instruction, and she's going to help me emceeing the event. She's going to do the majority of the work, and I'm going to take credit for it. That is called management potential. I have plenty of it. So thank you for being here, JoAnna. The first thing we're going to do is introduce our new faculty. So I'm going to apologize to you in advance because I'm probably going to mangle some of your names. And when I was in this patient class on public speaking, one of the first things that I was taught is that you should never start a speech apologizing. But this time I think it's granted because I'm probably going to do something wrong, so I'm just going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time. So please hold your applauses to the end, and at the end we'll get all of our new employees to get up and we'll recognize them. So the first new full-time faculty is Francesca Bello, Michael Binin, Rigoberto Castro, Dion Gibson, Michelle Fagundes, Joanna Fisher, Jason Foral, Berenice Gallardo, John Yu, Carlos Mera, Mark Olagi, Rosie Petrova, Tricia Reynolds, Gustavo Romero, Veronica Sanchez, Marlena Chor, Darlene Williams. Our newly tenured faculty, 4 years of hard work. Damon Cagnolari. Great picture. Dan Klaus. Julie Davis. Dan De Cracker. Colleen Call. Edward Kelly. Ernest Luke. Nikki Lovejoy Revolt. Nasiba Makarem. Susan McDonald. Terrence Mullen. Jerry Ramos. Jacqueline Ronquillo Adachi. Michelle Starver. Lisette de los Rendon. New full-time classified staff, Tiffany Avery, Nadia Benavides, Celeste Cisneros, Queen Dawn, Christine Fong, Arthur Giddens, Maria Isai, María del Carmen Lizarraga, Estefane Minami, Julio Monterrosa, Rebecca Rios. Rebecca brought the fan base with her. Daniel Rogacion. Jasmine Sanchez. Angela Techima. Nancy Torres. Paul Troval. Ulises Valencia. New full-time management. Shana Vasquez. Christy Blackburn. Connie Borman. Kathy Burgos. Tom Gallivan. Shannon Cavenet. Patrick O'Donnell. Vince Orton. Hans Strand. So if you're here and you're a new employee, please stand up. Thank you for becoming part of Cerritos College. We're glad you're here and we look forward to many years with you. Okay, I think now it's David's turn and he's going to provide us with some music. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, how's everybody doing today? Okay, we're going to do a little lecture today. It's going to be on class climate. Campus climate, I think you're going to like it. Campus climate's going to happen right here, right now. All right. Where's our president? Where's our president? You know what? This isn't in his contract, but let's see if he's got the bravery to do it. Fierro!
This ain't Wyoming, baby.
That's what I hear.
Give it up one more time for the Falconeers. Frank Geik on the drums, Mark Franke on horns. We had Nate Ferguson on bass, Rick Miranda on guitar, Gary Pritchard on piano, and of course our favorite David Betancourt on vocals. And Bulgarian, sorry, on accordion. So lyrics by JoAnna Schilling and David Betancourt, but anything you don't like, it was David's. All right, thanks. So it's my honor to have the opportunity to acknowledge the many accomplishments made by our faculty and staff this year. I believe we have the best faculty and staff in any college in Southern California and the country. And this year's accomplishments only underscore that belief. Here are a few of the honors and achievements made by the Cerritos faculty this year. When I announce your name, if you're here today, please stand so we can acknowledge you. I'm going to ask that we hold the applause until the end, but please do stand when you hear your name. So Vicki Morgan won the 2015 Educator Wall of Fame Award this year from UC Irvine. Okay, it's okay. We had 4 athletic achievements this year, and it was an amazing year for our athletics department. Nye Bueno, Brian Cable, Carrie Edwards, and Dan Smith were all acknowledged by the Community College Athletic Association. Congratulations. Diana Molina Echeverria was selected as Preschool Teacher of the Year, and Benny Arteaga was named National Coach of the Year. Women's soccer assistant coach Mimo Gonzalez was selected West Region Assistant Coach of the Year. Kimberly Duff wins the American Psychological Association's 2014 Excellence in Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Award. Donna Waddell was honored for the 2015 Hazel Torres Excellence in Education Award. Adele Crayer was named Educator of the Year by California Dental Hygienists Association. That was the first award for this association too. Julie Traeger and Lisa Bouton-Vitella were named 2015 Turnitin All-Stars. And you've probably seen their campaign on campus. You'll be hearing a lot more about this. Froilan Cabuto and Otto Cifuentes are about to release a new Spanish music CD. Can't wait. So again, please acknowledge your colleagues with a round of applause. Thank you for your service. We also had quite a few publications and presentations this year, and these are just a few of them. Paula Pereira, who is in our library faculty, published an English language learner's book titled How I Learned English, including the illustrations. She did all the painting herself, and it's available in our bookstore. It's amazing. Kimberly Rosenfeld. Kimberly was an overachiever this year. She had 2 publications. One is a book titled Digital Online Culture, and the other was an article published in the Handbook of Research and Media Literacy in the Digital Age. Congratulations, Kimberly. Angela Hoppy-Nagao, also the speech department. She published was part of a research case study on organizational leadership. And we also, in the presentation area as well as publication, Daniel Gardner presented on author John Fonte at Cal State University of Long Beach, and his work will also be included in a collection of essays on Fonte's writing. Frank Geik will be presenting at the 2016 International Global Studies Conference coming up at UCLA in the spring. And John Haas traveled to MIT last spring to interview Noam Chomsky on a wide variety of topics, and he also connected his students on a video conferencing experience with Palestinian students in Jerusalem to understand what life is like under Israeli occupation. Major work that John is doing. So again, a round of applause for your colleagues. I'm reminded of the critical role that our classified and confidential staff make in the success of our students. Many of you, most of you, are the first connection that our students make when they arrive at Cerritos, and we thank you for your service to our students and the college. I want to specifically acknowledge Classified Manager Mark Logan for being named Procurement Professional of the Year, and Raquel Lizarraga for 2 accomplishments this year. She was named by the White House as acknowledged for the President's Volunteer Service Award, and was also acknowledged by Assemblymember Christine Garcia for her #Pride58 award. Congratulations to you both. I'd also like to acknowledge those of you who have achieved in education this year. So if I could have you stand if you have received an EDD or a PhD this year. If you have achieved a master's this year, could you please stand so we can acknowledge your accomplishment? Anyone who has achieved a bachelor's degree in the last year? And if you have achieved a certificate of achievement, please stand. It's an honor to work with you guys, it really is. Our student achievements, which again could not happen without the dedication of our faculty and staff, so I just wanted to run through a few highlights. Again, amazing things happening at our college. So our dental hygiene students made history at the American Dental Hygienists Association with 3 wins in the national competition and 2 for first place. Our dental hygiene students also repeated this year with a 100% national board pass rate. 2 years in a row. That was awesome. Our culinary arts students, under the tutelage of Chef Michael Perini, assisted with the 2015 Golden Globe Awards dinner this year. The Psi Beta Kappa students, under the oversight of advisor Kimberly Duff, won 3 national awards at the American Psychological Association National Convention. Our Phi Theta Kappa chapter, under oversight of Counselor Tracy Okita, were honored at the annual convention this year for Distinguished Chapter Officer Team Award. This was a national award. It was huge, and we had a great team this year. Thank you, Tracy. Phi Beta Lambda, under the oversight of business faculty Jerry Ramos, were honored with 8 awards in 4 categories at the National Leadership Conference in Chicago this year. 4 of our students placed in the top 15 of the business decathlon, again, a national competition. Our forensics team, under the oversight of April Griffin, returned from the state championships with 4 medals and placed 4th in the National Forensic Association in the Lincoln Douglas debate. Congratulations to our forensics team. Cerritos made history this year, and not only did we have many honors for our faculty and managers, but we took 4 state championships. I'm not sure that's ever happened before. It's an amazing achievement. And this was in men's soccer, women's track and field, and wrestling. If any of those coaches are here, would you please stand? They're busy training. We had 4 women's soccer players receive All-American awards, and 1 women's soccer player was named National Player of the Year. This one's a new one. Under the tutelage of Mickey Michik in our engineering design program, our students helped set a new Guinness World Record for printing hundreds of prosthetic hands. Mickey also is running a concurrent enrollment program, and we had our first graduates of this new program were 6 area high school students. So congratulations, Mickey. Tommy Diaz did us well with, he won a hashtag Pride 58 award, also from Assembly Member Christina Garcia. And if those of you who know Tommy, knows a fine young man, wonderful young man. And we had 13 Cerritos science students selected to participate in very prestigious summer research projects at USC, UCI, Cal State Long Beach, UCLA, and you can see the list of things that they were working on. It's truly remarkable, and I commend our science department for the great work that they're doing to give our students this opportunity to do research at all levels. So congratulations to our science faculty and to our students. So in closing, I would like to read just a few student letters. Nothing is more affirming to any of us than to hear that a student has not only succeeded, but is applying what they've learned from you in their lives. The 2 students that I'm going to read letters from are an example of the power of education to change lives. What you're looking at on the screen here is from a student, Jason Kim, who wrote to to 2 of our professors, Patty George and Jim Heinrichs, of his summer research project at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. If you'll notice on the slide, it says both Nebraska, and it also says Cerritos, which we're very proud of. And this was, you'll have to ask one of our science instructors to explain to you what this actually says, but it looks very impressive to me. And this is what he said. This is Jason, a former student of your Calculus 3 class, currently at University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I've just finished the final product of the poster in the summer, and I would like to share it with you. Without your class and recommendation, I would not be here at University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I really thank you for your support and your help, and I live my day diligently and thankfully. Yours truly, Jason Kim. And Linda Palumbo shared this other student letter. This is from Ariel Gomez, who is now at the University of California, Berkeley. And she said, while I have not taken English classes here at Berkeley, I have found that your 246 class prepared me for the heavy reading I've been required to do for my courses. After rigorously analyzing poems line by line for your classes, I felt I was better able to understand the works of Thomas Hobbes, Adam Smith, and Hegel, among others. I remember in particular that through the process of writing an essay, comparing poems by Blake and Wordsworth, I learned how to compare theorists point by point. This skill has been essential in every non-quantitative class I have taken at Berkeley, and I'm not sure I would have fared as well had I not been in your class. Many of the works we've covered have shaped and continue to shape many of my philosophical and social perspectives. Once again, thank you for everything. And I think that really says it all. So in closing, I want to say that I apologize for not mentioning each and every one of you, but you make a profound difference in the lives of our students, and we are grateful for your dedication, your diligence, and most of all, for caring about your students each and every day. We thank you for the work you do, and I wish you very well as you start your semester and as you continue your semester. May you and your students succeed together. Thank you. And now I would like to bring our newest Falcon back to the stage, Dr. Fierro.
This is the serious part of the presentation, so I'm going to wear my glasses to give the relevance that it deserves. Apparently, I went to the with the doctor and had to take a vision test, and then he said, you need to do it again. And I was like, why? Well, you failed. Not that I haven't failed tests before, but this one was a little harder to deal with, because it was the first time that I have failed a test without using glasses. So this is the first time that he said, well, you probably want to start wearing your glasses a little more frequently. So I guess a sign of age. One of the best parts of my job is that I get to let you know about the great things the college is doing. So during the past year, Cerritos College did amazing work, as you probably have seen. But I want to bring a couple of things for you to remember the great work that has been done at the institution. So, for instance, Major C and Major G bond construction was a project of $7 million that actually increased the local economic power. So essentially what this particular project was about was to increase contracts with local contractors in order to inject money to our local economy. We also had the grand opening of the new Child Development Center. I had the opportunity to be there, and it's a great facility, and it promised to be even an even greater facility as we move into the finalization of our permanent structure. I understand that the waiting list is very long, and apparently as soon as mothers-to-be know that they are going to have a kid, they get their name in the waiting list. 2 years later, when they are ready to leave their kids behind, apparently they get a spot. So the waiting list is huge. The quality of the education is great. This is a very important initiative, and I think it's an initiative that really speaks very, very well about the institution and you as individuals, which is green sustainability. The college has developed the Integrated Energy Master Plan, and is the first of its kind at any California community college, and is going to serve as the model for the California Community College Chancellor's Office for Sustainability. It's a great project, and you are first in line and the leading institution on sustainability. We also received the Green Community College Leadership Award for water conservation. We save about 30 million gallons of water annually. It's a lot of water. But even more, we save about $20,000 in addition to the water we're saving. We're also making extremely good progress on the CSI and mathematics and fine art buildings. You've probably seen them come up. Every time I go by it, it seems like a new wall is up. And as far as I can tell, we are on time and right on budget to be able to finish those buildings and start serving our students even better. I had the opportunity to meet with the K-16 Bridge Partnership Program a couple of weeks ago. We had 300 students, first-year students, really excited to be part of the Cerritos College. The K-16 Bridge Early Education Access Program is a partnership between Cerritos College, Downey, Norwalk, La Mirada, and Paramount Unified Schools. And essentially, Cerritos College is committed to student access, and what we do is we help them step by step enrolling into college classes in order to increase their chances of success when they come to Cerritos College. We have also developed 25 associate degrees for transfer in the state. And as you can see, not that I am competitive or anything. Top in the state. Getting to the top is easy, staying there is harder, so let's keep up the trend. The next one, again, not that I'm competitive on anything, I want you to pay attention to this one. Nursing program ranks 10 on the Western United States, and is the only community college in the top 10. speaks very well of our faculty, very well of our college. Keep up the good work. Earlier this year, you had California Secretary of State Alex Padilla delivering the State of Education address. Great information, and clearly Cerritos College is moving forward and contributing to the education of the citizens of Southern California. Cerritos College also was recognized with the prestigious Platinum Award for donating 946 units of blood. We also had the first integrated assignment on food theme, and essentially it's a campus integrated theme, and it's to provide service learning opportunities. These service learning opportunities include a community garden and a food bank. All these activities help to make the life of our students significantly better as they come through our campus. Cerritos is turning 60. So, unlike when some of us turn 60, we probably won't be as excited, but it is a good thing about Cerritos turning 60. So I want to thank Maya Walker, and I want to thank the student government for working so hard to put together the celebration for the 60th year anniversary. Some of you know that Poncho Sanchez is going to be here performing a couple of songs, probably this Wyoming song, with our jazz band on September 17th. So mark your calendars, come and have some cake, listen to some good music by our own jazz band and Poncho Sanchez. Accreditation. Thank you for everyone that made my life a lot easier. By the time I was here, accreditation was done, and the college is in a great path to continue its success. Student transfer. Number 2 is great, but I like to be number 1. So, by a study of the New America, a non-profit by DC, Cerritos College ranks 2 among transfer for Mexican American Latino students transferring to CSU. And it's among the top 10 of Latino student transfer to the UCs. The college was featured by the LA Times and by California Public Radio. It's great recognition for the work that we are doing at Cerritos College. Don't be shy. So, as I said before, that is the best part of my job, having the ability to speak for the institution and the ability to go different places and spread the good word about the work that is being done at the institution. And I promise you that every time I go out, I highlight the best things of the institution. If you have a program, if you have an initiative that you think I need to be aware of, and when I'm in the community talking about Cerritos College, please let me know. There is nothing better for me than when I go somewhere that I get the opportunity to say how great Cerritos College is. So, as I was thinking what to do for the convocation, I said, okay, it's my first year, so I'm guessing people have questions about who I am and why am I here, and the typical question, what you do, why you became a professor rather than continue to practice in veterinary medicine. So I said, okay, I'm gonna integrate a little bit about me and a little bit about education into this presentation. So the way I see education is the impact the education have in all of us, the education have in the next generation. So as you can see, there's a great smiles. Everyone is really, really happy, and it's probably one of the best times of the year. Commencement makes every single headache that you had during the year worthwhile, right? You can have this bad day the day before, you get to commencement and everyone is smiling, hugging each other, having a great time, and everything just is, so out of the sudden, it's just worth it. So to me, commencement, like you, it makes everything worth it. But that is just the first step. Commencement is just like that little bit of closure that I get every year as I do my job. Sometimes I wonder, why am I doing this? Especially last night, I was driving home about 10 p.m. You laugh, but it's the truth. The funny part is that it's becoming more of the norm than the exception. And I was thinking, why am I doing this? But every time I think that, I actually have an answer for that. I really do have an answer for that. And it's what it keeps me going every single day. And it's essentially the answer of why I'm in education rather than practicing, which is part of some of the questions that I have been asked a couple of times by some of you. So why am I doing this? How many of you, when you were growing up, you had the conversation with your parents, which is an interesting conversation to have. They said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, 8. Like, I don't know. Right? How many of you had that conversation? Right? I did have that conversation a couple of times. And one time, I thought I was very clever. My dad asked me, I think it was like a Christmas Eve or something like that. I remember we were in my grandma's house down the stairs, right in front of the stairs. What are you going to do when you grow up? So I said, I want to do something futuristic. I want to change the future. So he's like, okay, what would that mean? So, I came out, at the time, I don't know, I was probably reading something random. So I said, like astrophysics or something that really will transform the future and how we live later on. So he, I don't know, I guess he laughed it off and said, okay, whatever, I'll ask you next year and see if you have progress, or I will have to focus on your sister. So then I got thinking, but that was a moment that later on actually came back to me. I like to do something that reach into the future, whatever that may be. And I said it to be clever, but it'll make sense as we go. So I have a great appreciation for this university, University of Wisconsin. Anyone from the University of Wisconsin? Go Badgers, right? No, this is the wrong audience for this. Funny part, I have never been on that campus. I know the mascot is the Badgers because I have a hat. I know what the logo looked like because I've seen it multiple times. But the first time I saw that logo was at my house. And I've never been there. It is cool. I've been in Wisconsin a couple of times. I was born there, actually. But I've never been on the university campus. But I really have a deep appreciation for that university. And the reason is that my dad had the opportunity to go there. So he graduated from the University of Wisconsin, which doesn't sound like anything major because many people graduate from college, right? But to me, that was the trigger for a future change that he probably didn't think it was going to happen. I mean, probably he didn't think that what he did at that point was going to have an impact well into the future for me, for my sister, for my niece, and everyone that is coming after us. So because of that, I have a huge appreciation for that. And it will become even bigger as I go through this, because this is where my dad is from, and it's a picture of about, 5-7 years ago. So you can imagine, like in the early 1800s, where my dad was a kid. This didn't look anything like this, but even now, it doesn't look like, a big metropolis. It's a very, very small town called Caguan-Huila. And at the time, he grew up there, single mom, first generation. His dad died very early, so there was his mom with 9 kids, I think. No college, just regular work. I don't think my grandma graduated from high school. I would probably say maybe middle school or something like that. I'm not really sure. But that's where it came from. And if you go back, what are the odds that someone coming from that place in South America go there? Like statistically, almost none. You probably have a better chance of winning the lotto than making it there in the 19, whatever was he born, I don't know. Don't tell him that. But you have a very little chance to make it there. So statistically, there was really no chance for my dad to get out where he was. But somehow, he went through, I think, middle school was the highest they had there. But in order for my dad and some of his brothers and sisters to actually go to high school, my grandma had to take a courageous step and said, you know, we need to leave this town because there's not a high school here. So they moved from this tiny town, that is Caguan, Huila, and not like that, it still looks, to another city that is called Neiva. That at the time it was a tiny city. And, you know, again in the 1800s, probably wasn't that much bigger than this. But they did have high schools there, so they had the opportunity to go to high school. So then, just by a chance that my grandma took, the statistical probabilities of my dad actually finishing school increased, because then it was a high school within reach. In his town, people that stood there, they could not go to high school because there was no one, right? So statistically, your chance at that point were 0. Right there, his chances increased. Would that make him smarter than the other kids in town? No. It just had an additional opportunity the others didn't. So he got there, he went to high school, and somehow someone, because apparently he wasn't quite a stellar student either, said, you know, you should probably go to college and we find a way to send you to college. There was no college there either. So they have to take another courageous step. First person in his family to go to college. Essentially, out of 9 kids, okay, I'm gonna invest in this one. And he was sent to Bogota, to the capital. About, at the time, probably 7-8 hours away, because the roads obviously were pretty bad. Now it's maybe 5 hours. And he went there, and he went to college. And started college there, and after that, someone from this university that was doing research in Bogota somehow found him. Was he smarter than anyone? No. Statistically, his possibilities increased because my grandma moved, because someone recognized that he had some sort of talent, whether he showed or not, that's different. And someone decided to invest on giving him a scholarship to go to a public university in Bogota. And there, he was apparently at the right time, at the right place, and someone from this school found him. He told me the name of the person, I can't remember. But this person essentially was his bridge to make it here. So look how quickly the life changed and the opportunities changed rapidly. Was he the better student in that class to go there? I don't know, probably not. Probably yes, he probably was just average like anyone else. But the chance favored him at that particular time. And oftentimes we think, well, with just raw talent, I'm gonna make it. You also need that statistical possibility to get there. So he eventually made it there, went to college, graduated. Before he left, he married my mom and took her with him and so on. My mom at the time was finishing a program to become a secretary. So she sort of rather quickly finished and moved with him, and they moved to the balmy city of Madison, Wisconsin. They both, mind you, came from these tiny towns. In fact, the town that my mom grew up in, does no longer exist. That's how booming it was. And this one, it does exist, but they're like summer all year round. It's very hot. So then you go to Wisconsin under, negative numbers. But what ended up happening for me is the good fortune of my dad changed my probabilities to do better. right? So my dad had the struggles, so on and so forth. Some of you, I'm sure that his story is not that special because probably some of you have gone through it and some of our students go daily through it. But what I want to illustrate is how that changes the future. And when I was telling my dad I want to change the future, I didn't have any idea there was this. But when you look backwards, this is what it means. So if I'm a first generation student and my parents do not have a high school diploma or just somewhere around there, my chances of actually graduating with a baccalaureate degree or even with an associate degree are only 12.4%. And when you add another variables, actually they get even better because there are things that are called risk factors. The more risk factors you have, the smaller this number gets. So by my dad, or essentially it wasn't just even my dad, it's probably my grandma, by my grandma moving from the small town to the town where there was a high school, that changed my outlook dramatically. So at that point, just to hit the big numbers, my chances of actually being able to get somewhere just by my dad graduating out of high school increased to 17%. But then his good fortune continued, and he continued to do great. And he ended up earning an advanced degree. You see the difference? So my chances automatically, even when I wasn't really a great student to begin with, went from possibly never actually making it into college to even if I did poorly, I still had 60% chances of finishing school. Even before he had me, he had already done something for me to do better in the future. And now that I have gotten older and wiser, that is what I think I meant when I said I want to change the future. Because when we do something really great for our students, we're not only affecting that kid, we're actually affecting the odds of those students to do better, for society to do better as they move into the future. That is something that I'm really, really passionate about. And I see today students, yes, I like to help them, yes, I like to make sure they do great, but to be really, really honest, my main motivation is not just the student, it's like the kids you haven't had yet. I want them to do great. Your grandkids, I want them to do great because that changes society as a whole. Maybe I won't get to see it in my lifetime, but that is the impact that education has. And obviously you and I and your kids are an example of that statistic variability when you have access to higher education. Interesting part of all this is something that is called wasted talent. Wasted talent is something that Malcolm Gladwell speaks a lot about, and probably won't even do justice to the concept, but essentially it speaks about all this potential that we lost here, right? Kids that fall within this category, they're not any more or less talented than the kids that fall here. The conditions are different, which favor a better outcome. So, you know, the 70 to 60, what? 78%, 77.5% of the students that didn't make it here, they're not any less talented, they just didn't get that opportunity. But what if they were really, really, really talented and they didn't get the opportunity? Maybe we'll be missing the next Nobel Prize winner. Maybe we'll be missing the next president of Cerritos College. Maybe we'll be missing the next president of the United States just because of statistic variability. I don't want to preach to the choir, but I know you're very, very aware of what is a first generation student. So first generation either parent graduated from college, About 50% of the students in the nation today are first generation, and that is just one risk factor. The more risk factors you have there, the lower that number that I was mentioning before. Obstacles are essentially risk factors. They play against your statistical possibilities or of doing better. So depending on the different risk factors, you're going to have time management issues, the unknown that is college, the hard road to get there. Obviously, first generation students tend to enroll after a few years in college, after a few years of their completion of high school. So some of the skills decline. Someone during a meeting recently was saying, for instance, mathematics is one of those skills that you need to continue working on, or it sort of goes down, right? So if I finish and 3 years or 4 years later, I decide to go back to college, my skill set has decreased a little bit. And this one is the biggest one, 54%, or one of the biggest ones, 54% of first generation students are financially independent. What this translates is, should I pay for books or should I buy groceries for me or my kids? Or should I go to class or should I go to work because I need the money to pay the rent? That's a huge obstacle. So 42%, and as you saw, it goes as high as almost 60% if it is a graduate degree, versus 27%. And it goes as low as 12 and even sometimes below 10 if the student meet all the 6 risk factors that are identified, the move they add against first generation. So I'll let you obviously speak this slide, and let the slide speak by itself, but as you see, that is a really, really hard road for the students to make it to the other end. Just to give you an idea on the demographics of the students that are not low income, not low generation, it is staggering when you compare low income first generation and low income first generation, right? So they're gonna have a series of obstacles the not low income students and not low first generation students are going to face. And for instance, for this one is huge, 74% versus 27% on financially dependent. Risk factors. As I mentioned before, the risk factors, and not low-income students, 50% of those have none of the risk factors. And as I said, statistically, even if you don't do well, that makes you extremely more likely to finish your schooling. So what is next? I would like us to have conversations around academic excellence and becoming a student-centered institution, like truly a student-centered institution, to minimize the wasted talent. The wasted talent that I'm talking about is the 70% of the students that we don't get through, right? And if we go back to those that need remedial skills, we're talking about 78% of students that won't go through, or sometimes even less. That is wasted talent and an opportunity to make a change into the future. And that, essentially, is why I do what I do. So every time when I'm driving home, and it's late and I'm tired, I think about the opportunity that indirectly was afforded to me by my parents, and then I re-energize and become very passionate again of being able to provide that opportunity to someone else. So essentially, when I was trying to be sort of a smart aleck to my dad that I want to change the future, I wasn't too far off. Because every single one of you change the future every single day that you go to the classroom. Every single time that you get one of those letters, you did actually change the future outcome of that student. And not only of the student, but of the next generation of your student. And they probably will never know that was you who did it, but you know that that's what it made the difference. How we get there? Obviously, we won't get there. We won't get there just as individuals. We get there together. So again, that's why I would like us to have conversations throughout the year of what Cerritos College can do to continue to implement programs that lead to academic excellence, programs that are based or centered around the students, and developed a new vision for the future. So you're going to start seeing some invites to go and to come and have some conversations. All viewpoints are welcome, and all your ideas are welcome in order to start collecting data and information as to what would it take for all of us to work together to serve our students even better than we already do. Any questions? Well, thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, I would like to, I guess, let you go out and enjoy some refreshments. Thank you and have a great year.